3 a.m. and it's brutal. And we're just getting up, starting the day, 3 a.m. Day 2, here we are. We're a little bit older, a little bit more tired, but we're here. Mid-mountain practice today. This is substantially different than what we rode on yesterday and what we qualified on. Mid-mountain gets really complex really fast. It's the shortest section that we practice, and hopefully we'll get the most runs up here, but the pavement's questionable, and it has a series of really complex switchbacks, and they all look like each other, so it's really easy to get out of rhythm and kind of lose track of where you're at. Probably some of the biggest crash videos you've seen on YouTube and stuff, with like the Mitsubishi Evo going off the cliff and stuff. That's this section, so there's huge consequences if you don't hit your braking markers, or if you get a little cocky and think you're somewhere that you're actually not. So it's important today to get the learning mode back on, even though I've ridden this section plenty of times. Like, I always ride it like I'm just riding it for the very first time, and try to establish like a cadence in my mind. Just make sure to hit all my marks, you know, not get too ambitious with the braking markers, feel out the traction, see what that's like this year, see how clean the course is. So there's a lot of things. So right now I'm just sitting in the car. It's 4:16 in the morning, and for like the next 10 minutes I'm gonna kind of set my objectives for today, and make sure I just focus on doing that. Hopefully have a safe and successful ride, and hopefully end up on top of the timesheets. Day 2, we just took our first run. It's cold. The course is actually pretty clean, so we're happy about that. It looks like they've been working on it. They've been sweeping certain areas, but everything's clean, and then you'll just have like a landmine of dirt somewhere. So it's really unnerving, and it also looks like maybe a tourist dropped a bunch of transmission fluid in the apex of one of the corners. So this is just a perfect example of the stuff you deal with up here. It's like, not only is the course difficult to ride, and it's really cold, and there's a bunch of stuff like that, but you're dealing with all these weird anomalies that you would never deal with at another racetrack. So just one more element to it. We're all dealing with it. You see everyone's busy trying to make sense of it, you know, set up and whatnot, but it's still pretty early. We'll wait till we get some heat in the course before we actually start making adjustments. So just playing it cool and kind of recycling our memory right now and keeping it safe. How's it looking? This section's really scary, man. It's really cold still. The sun kind of got stuck behind some clouds, so usually by this time we have a little sunlight warming up the asphalt. But it's ice cold still, and you know, it's a pretty high consequence area. It's all very sheer cliffs and everything. You're really right on the tire's edge, almost full throttle in some sections, and there's hundreds of feet off. Literally only about 10 feet between you and that. So a lot of calculated risk taking. There's no first place for practice, so we're just kind of trying to ramp up and learn and figure out where our shift points are on the new bike. Everything's new on this bike, so it's a learning experience right now. But we're going okay. We're not the slowest, so. Here we are, end of day 2, mid-mountain. Today was a pretty important day for us. Yesterday we had a ton of success, which was wonderful, but the lower section is very traditional in the way it's laid out. It's kind of a flowy road course in that regards. The midsection, where we're at today, is dramatically different than any other place on the mountain. It's like a series of drag races. You come into corners, make a complete 180-degree turn, and come out. And it's a series of those back and forth up this section. And they're very tricky, and each one has different undulations and cambers that make them unique. And it was a true test on how our new V4 Street Fighter prototype was going to work. We didn't know if it was going to get out of the hole quick enough. You know, the beauty of the multi-strata is that it has so much torque down low, and it just gets out of the hole so easily. And we were worried we may not have that same effect with the V4 Street Fighter. With gearing and just a little tinkering, really not much, we were actually able to get the power down where we needed it, get the RPM range where we needed it, and the bike worked fantastic today. And today at the top of the time charts, which is a total treat. But we didn't lose sight of our objectives. You know, we didn't get caught up in that rat race of trying to get top time, because it's so easy to. And there's no first place, there's no trophy for practice. But it is a good feather in the cap, and it kind of works a good hunting game, so we'll take it. And as you can see, there's still snow up on the mountain here, so we're having to deal with that. Temperatures are really low, so we're trying to learn what to do with our Pirelli tires. They're working fantastic, tons of grip, but very unique conditions require some unique solutions. So we're still working on it. We're about halfway through the week. We still got a ton of work ahead of us, so keep on keeping on. See you again.